One thing that I have really been wanting to speak on is the mechanical aspects in place that I learned and have studied through my journey with Jeet Kune. JKD, the Baizhong, the ready position, all the things we do and work on and work with and learn, these are only single moments and instances in time. These are when we're going about our day, walking around normal, and then all of a sudden something happens and it makes us have to assume a position. Just like we learned in my intro series with that more evolved combination of a primal and a complex approaches to martial art, right? Part of that was to signify you're standing there and you're walking and then something pushes you and you have to react and assume some type of ready position to react from there. Everyone's different, and yes, you modify your art as you need for your body as you age or change or whatever your physical reality is, right? But there's something that's lost if you're not utilizing the footwork as it's intended. Specifically, I'm referring to being on the balls of your feet and making sure to drop your heels when you're delivering your hits, strikes, or movements that are intended to displace, off balance, or disrupt an opponent or whatever it is that you're hitting, okay? Now there's at least three parts or three layers to this that make sense to me, okay? So first and most obvious is gonna be the fact that when you're on the ball of your feet, you're more mobile, okay? It's kind of that athletic position, you're sprinting, you're moving, you're light on the foot, okay? Part of that, you're decreasing the friction between your body and the ground. If you're moving around flat-footed, it's not always ready unless you've trained for it, I guess, then that might be an exception, right? Because I know that when I walk around, it's fine. We are prepared to, if we're walking and moving, then you can get up and do it, or it's just ever so slight that you're on the ball of the foot, okay? So it's not perfect, it's not every time, it's not meant to be walked around. I don't walk around life like this all day, every day, right? That's not the intention. We're speaking about the specific time where you're using or training or working your Baizhong and ready position. So that first part, you're minimizing friction and ground force that's impeding your smooth movements. It's not that Jeet Kune Do is the only one that uses it. A lot of fighting, a lot of arts, a lot of combat sports, whether it be fencing or whatnot, will utilize the footwork like that. Not only are we creating less friction on the ground so that we can move a little bit quicker, more efficiently, more readily, right? We're getting ourselves set up mechanically to have an advantage. So the Baizhong is meant to be a mechanically advantageous position for a reason, to where it was looked at, these different arts and the different weights and the positioning for specific reasons. This is not an end-all be-all. If you're surrounded by people around you, not the best idea to take the focus and put all that intention on one person, right? So know when and how you're going to utilize these things. We have the mobility and the mechanical advantages that it offers us. What are the mechanical advantages that are offered? Well, the mobility is the first part. But if we go from there, what else do we have? We have moments of stability. If I throw my straight lead and I'm going for deception and I go hand, hip, foot, that one moment, an instant of time to where I'm stabilized on the ground is that same moment of impact that this is connecting here. And know that the straight lead itself is specific and different than a jab in the way it's intended to be used. And what we're doing here is specific. So my straight lead, hand, hip, foot, feet go down, and then they go back up when I come back. Hand, hip, foot, feet go down, and that gives us a moment of stability so that when we're getting that force boom, pushing through us. We're stabilized through the ground, and we're able to combat and give back that same force we received by going down, pushing from the ground out. So the heels would drop to give you stability and balance at moments of impact. Moments of impact is when you want that stability and movement to be grounded and more rooted. As soon as I'm done hitting, feet go up, back to the balls of the feet, and I coil back to my ready position. I don't stay here, I don't linger, I don't change things. I want things to be smooth, fluid, and almost mechanical in how predictable it is for us. And with a cross, it's not going to be the rear or whatever, because all the hits are going to be different. So if I throw the cross or the rear straight, hand, hip, foot, obviously my rear foot is not going to be able to drop a heel. If I'm loading here on the front foot, the front heel drops and the rear may not. That doesn't mean it cannot, because there's instances where I may go hand, hip, foot, or they rush me, I don't get to deploy what I'm doing. So I have to step back, and I might want to stabilize and create this nice straight line here to impale them. Like a bear or a tiger, you have a spear, you let it impale itself on that spear. The spear has to have stability to take that force and push through. If I'm not set, then the spear can break and the force would just collapse down and the bear or tiger gets me. That is where we're kind of looking at with this. It's based on the fencing, right? We're looking to get out there, and so we want to find moments of stability so that there's stability for the piercing or penetration to happen with the strikes that we're using. So there is not an absolute always, it's not going to always work out cleanly and perfectly. You might find yourself, you put your foot down and punch just to stabilize a bit, but then as soon as the hit's done, you move around again, right? There's going to be chaos and things that happen in reality to where it's not going to be so clean, but we want to remove as many variables or uncontrolled aspects of our movements and ourself as we can. Why else would we want to have raised heels that drop, for instance, in moments to help us get mechanical advantage? What would be another reason? Number 3, gravity. Utilizing gravity can be an exponential force multiplier for your delivery of powerful hits, strikes, or whatever it is. It can be an amplifier for your efficacy. For mobility, stability, and now power is going to be part of that too. How? It's such a small distance. That doesn't matter. The physics are what they are. The gravity's pull, gravity's influence on things, 9.8 Newton meters per second squared normally. Obviously, that's not taking into account wind resistance, drag, mass, everything like that, right? In a vacuum, we're looking at consistency and then the same exact effect happening on different objects. That's not reality, but the truth remains, if you have gravity and you drop with things, you're getting an acceleration of power. Your mass is dropping. Your mass is accelerating. There is velocity. There is inertia. There is kinetic potential in this when you create the entire kinetic chain that links this attack or movement together. When I hit, I drop my whole being into this. My whole intention is this. I want to minimize the surface area here that I'm putting all the force into, and I want to maximize everything I can to give me the best hit. And right now we're focusing on this one part. Many things go into an effective hit. So if I'm in my straight lead and I get there, there's only one instance of me dropping it. But that instance is the same time as I hit here and I drop. I have a wedge, I have My points are hitting at the same time. I'm falling forward into this, but also down. The force delivery is there, yes? And when you drop the force in with the gravity assisting you, it can increase the efficacy of your hits. But do not stay there. If you get caught, whatever, and you need to stabilize for a second, fine, but you need to move. This is only one moment. It's not forever. You don't drop and then all of a sudden you're flat-footed. No. You must recoil back to your starting position. You must bring it back. You have to. You have to bring retraction into this. When you make these connections with your movements, you have to employ the science behind it as well. And if you can't, gain a better understanding and feel it, find it. Not everyone's going to know it and do the math and know that it's happening and why. But if you study it and you're aware, then it can help improve you. You can grow. When I'm here for a moment, I retract. I bounce off. I jump off like a trampoline. That is my button. That is my cue, my key point that tells me when to retract and go back, to move on to the next, either a hit or to get out and then come back in. I cannot just stay there. That brings us to another point that is a multiplier of force. Your force production and your hit can transfer the energy and leave it inside and minimize the amount of rebound or energy you absorb from that if you're able to time it just right and bounce off the moment of contact. And not only is it just here, but it's the feet too. I drop the hand and the feet at the same time, but I have to pull it back. I have to jump out. I want to minimize how much I absorb and hurt me. I don't want force rebounding into me. I want to deliver as much force as I can into that object and let it stay in there. You get further effects. You get further effects of damage, but that depends on the material type, the body type, positioning. There's many variables in that. But if we can clear up as many variables as possible and deliver a clean, effective, consistent modality of force transference and delivery of disruption, then all the better for us. Something is being missed if you're not using all of the mechanics that Bruce researched and put together as he built up this framework for us. So you have mobility, decreased friction with the ground. Stability in the moments where you have to stabilize for force, for impact, right? And then you need to retract and leave the force there after gravity helps you feel that. A trampoline is probably the closest explanation that you can kind of get to it, is as you jump down, you reach one specific point and you had to jump. You have to feel those times and those moments where it's appropriate to maximize your jump, or you're gonna end up deadening your jump and you don't go anywhere. To recap, add the heel drops. If you want a mechanical advantage in your favor, you want to use physics, you want to use as much as you can around you to help you on your path and your journey, learn to use science with your art. Drop the heels. Raise the heels, drop the heels. Thank you so much. If there are any questions or concerns regarding this, please put them in the comments down below. The comments down below. That's pretty much it on that.